When I walked onto the first construction site, I had to shake my head to say, what am I doing here? I don't belong here as far as walking on gravel and over wires and guys with saws. No. If you would have told me I would be doing that at this point in my life, I would never have believed you.
Not exactly the peace and quiet and perfect light of a traditional artist studio. But then, Rosetta is not exactly your traditional artist. Born in Italy, educated in Toronto, she was only 17 when she began her career in commercial graphic arts. Today, she brings a blend of that early background, a love of fine arts, and an open mind to every blank wall.
I love doing paintings on canvas, and a wall is just an extraordinarily huge canvas. The first wall I did, someone asked me to solve a problem in a foyer, doing some clouds up on a ceiling, and I just went up and did it. And then from there, I went to do portraits on ceilings, and then there was no end as to what to put on a wall.
Consequently, Rosetta's projects are as diverse as her clients, their homes, and desires. She followed in the brushstrokes of Michelangelo for the domed ceiling of a grand foyer. The ceiling of a Civil War buff's den features famous faces, while on an accompanying canvas, the client's face is slipped into the past. And from another Florida home, they watch the setting sun on the French Riviera.
One of people's favorites is a trompe-l'œil, which is a French word for, directly translated, trick to the eye. In other words, painting an illusion of something that looks real and isn't. That gets to be fun. If you don't have something, you can just paint it on the wall. Make it look real.
The whole house is very open, so we really enjoy this view from everywhere, from all the main living spaces. And we're especially pleased that this house helps us defy the laws of physics, because even though the whole house faces east, we have a sunset. We knew we wanted a nature scene. I think it was actually Rose who came up with the idea of the sunset. And we wanted it to look as if you had a long vista, so that when you looked at it from the house, you felt as if you were looking out into space. And that's eventually how we came up with the idea of doing this balcony with the beautiful balustrade and then this long view down to the water. Actually, one other thing that we were very impressed with was the research that Rose did to bring this all together. My husband and I talked to her a lot about wanting it to look like the south of France. And Rose went to the library and looked at her art books and actually did quite a lot of research on the vegetation that she would use, and particularly on the balustrade. She came with pictures of beautiful old Italian and French balconies, and we actually chose the shape of the stonework from that.
Rosetta's attention to detail, client compatibility, and extensive portfolio have also earned her the respect and recommendation of builders, architects, and designers like Betty Vanderzee.
I hardly do a home where I wouldn't want Rose to come in and do just something, you know. It's amazing the difference in artists. I feel Rose is a professional artist. I've got a lot of so-called housewife decorators, artists that tempt these things, and they do. It's more of a cutesy country type thing. And when we get into our nicer homes, our better homes, it's important to have a professional.
Oh, that'd be perfect. Using a trompe-l'œil like this,
Yeah,
make it look like you're outside.
Right. Her ideas are just great. We put our ideas together and it comes out probably nicer than what we even expect, you know.
The client has a big part in the making of this painting. So it's not as though this artist has full control. I throw something in your house and you have to like it, period. They're part of it. The client becomes the artist as well, or in the creative process. So in every step of the way, they can say to me, I would like a little more of this, or I would like a little more of that, or have their own ideas, and we'll work with it and work it into the composition. So yeah, they have a lot of participation.
Though I think the columns and also the archway that we have all through here, carrying that idea over.
Jan Thompson's project amounted to a large challenge on a small scale. Just beyond the most formal area in the house, where all of the doorways were 8 feet, a most informal powder room, where an intruding stairway reduced the ceiling height in stages to less than 6 feet. Rosetta's mission? Paint away those problem stairs and give the illusion of a larger space. Of course, it didn't happen in a flash, or even overnight. Depending upon the scope of a project, the planning, sketching, and execution may take weeks or even months. And often, Rosetta's artistic talent must be matched by her physical stamina.
The painting part is easy for me. It's the positions I've got to put myself in to do it. Getting up at heights like 47 feet up in the air and dealing with scaffolds, painting upside down in awkward positions. When people think of you painting a mural, they think of Michelangelo on his back. It's more than being on your back, it's being like this and being crippled over and just getting yourself into every weird position.
And she should know. One of Rosetta's most ambitious undertakings was that replica of Michelangelo's The Creation of Adam, 26 feet across, painted on a 47-foot high ceiling, while a house was being built around her.
The biggest problem for me as an artist was visualizing how would it look from the bottom floor, and with the scaffold under me, I couldn't physically go down there and look up. All I could think was the bad lighting that Michelangelo had to work under without electricity. And here everybody was so concerned with me having good lighting, and I was thinking, well, hey, to get it authentic, he did it in yellow lamplight. The angels were my idea because we've got a dome in the center, and looking at it from the height that it's at, it would look so minuscule, or at least the client was concerned. So I designed this idea of the angels adorning the main scene.
Whether she's relocated the Sistine Chapel or painted a pathway to a more beautiful living space, Rosetta's work certainly has attracted attention. But ultimately, she gets her greatest gratification from making homes more enjoyable, to the delight of their owners.
We just love it. We just love it. I particularly enjoy it because I have a little desk just there where I work every morning. I do my paperwork and make my phone calls. And from that little office, I have a wonderful view of this scene and the water. So it's really delightful for me.
Rosetta took a part of our house that we were quite frankly embarrassed about and turned it into this room that we're now so proud of that we show it off to all of our guests, whether they need to use it or not.